Welcome to BallrzFitness.com. Today we'll be working out with Robert. Say hello, Robert. And let's get started in a comfortable seated position today. So grab your balls and grab your mat and come to a comfortable seated position. Cross-legged will do just fine. Resting your hands in your lap, closing your eyes. Just breathe. Start to deepen your inhalations and your exhalations. And sit up straight. Draw your belly in, shoulders back. Inhale those arms over the head. And let's start by taking a gentle twist. Right hand comes outside the left knee. Left hand reaches back behind you. Just a gentle twist. This time, left hand outside the right knee. Right hand reaches back. Inhaling back to center. The left hand comes down for the floor. Right arm comes up and over. Side body stretch. We're trying to create length through the right side body. Now let's go ahead and switch sides. Right hand comes down for the floor. Left hand comes up and over. Back to center. Inhale, arms over the head. Exhale. Walk your palms down to the mat and start to draw your fingers away from you. Coming into a forward fold. Let's come to tabletop. Palms underneath the shoulders, knees underneath hips. Starting off with a cow, drop the belly, lift the chin, and then push into the palms, round through the upper back. Cat pose, flip the toes. As you transition between cow and cat, trying to find some space in the spine. Big inhale, exhale, really push into the floor, round through the upper back. Let's find a neutral spine. Tucking the back toes, walking your hands in, coming to a seated position. Rolling your wrists in one direction, reversing back in the opposite direction. Joint free. Shoulder circles. Left hand reaches down for the floor. Big circles, big circles. Reverse back in the opposite direction. Other side. Right hand reaches. Left arm circles around and around. In the opposite direction. Coming back to your tabletop position. Crunch that knee in towards the chin and then out to the elbow. Big hip circle. Big hip circle. Reverse back in the opposite direction. Other side. Left leg lifts. Bring the knee around and around. Reverse back in the opposite direction. Coming back to your tabletop position. Flip the toes and lift the hips. Come into your very first downward facing dog. Bending deeply through the right knee and then the left. Pedaling the feet. Bending deeply into both knees. Working it around. Create some space for yourself. Bend deeply into the knees. Step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And then roll yourself up to standing, one vertebra at a time, shoulder circles in one direction. And then move them in the opposite direction. Letting yourself settle into the floor. Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the palms on the shins, halfway lift, and then bring the hands down for the floor and roll yourself all the way to standing. Forward fold, halfway lift, deepen that forward fold, all the way back up to standing, palms up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms and step your feet back to high plank. Pausing in your high plank. Let's clean up the pose, push forward through the toes, round through the upper back. Pausing here, draw your belly in, knees come down for the floor, exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale, low cobra, no pressure in the palms, just lift the chest and chin, and then push back to your downward facing dog. As you inhale forward, high plank, one more time, knees, chest, chin, inhale forward to cobra. Exhale, push into the palms and press back to your downward facing dog. Couple of breaths. Bend deeply into the knees. Step, walk yourself to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and touch the floor. Roll yourself up to standing, arms over the head, and swan dive forward and touch the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, right foot steps back, left foot steps back. This time, no knees as you bend the elbows, keep them stacked over the wrists. Flip the toes and pull yourself forward to upward facing dog. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. High plank to low plank on the exhale. Inhale forward to upward facing dog. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Bend deeply into the knees. Step yourself to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Touch the floor. Inhale, rolls you all the way to standing. Palms over the head. Exhale, swan dive forward and touch the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Step the feet back. High plank to low plank. Low plank, inhales up to upward facing dog. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg into the air behind you. Square the hips, square the shoulders. And see if you can't lift your heel a little bit higher into the air. And now bend the knee and stack the hip. Shoulders are squared, hips are stacked. As you see if you can lift your knee a little bit higher into the air. Right knee, right elbow. Inhale, open, extend and stack the leg. Right knee, tiger pose, crunch it in. Inhale, open, extend and stack the leg. Right knee, left elbow. Come across the body and touch. Inhale, open, extend, and stack the leg. One more time, tiger pose, and gently step the foot between the thumbs. Left palm into the mat, right palm lifts. Let's take a twist. One long clean line from wrist to wrist. Hips are squared. See if you can't take that twist through the upper body and use the floor as leverage to twist a little bit deeper. Pressing your weight into your palm, see if you can walk the right leg back and stack it on top of the left, side plank. Lift the hips a little bit higher. Long, clean line of energy from wrist to wrist and from the crown of the head all the way to the back edge of that foot. Stepping the right foot between the palms, back foot spins up. Coming up onto your fingertips, grounding down into that right big toe, coming into your warrior three. Big toes at 6 o'clock, one long clean line, opening up the palms, fly away. Crown of the head all the way to that back heel. Breathe. Don't hold your breath. Step that left foot to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and touch the floor. Inhale, the arms all the way over the head. Palms touch. Exhale, swan dive forward and touch the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Step the feet back. High plank to low plank. Inhale, forward to upward facing dog. Thighs are lifted. Press back into your downward facing dog. Left leg lifts this time. Take a few moments to clean up the pose. Push into the palms, square the hips, square the shoulders, squeeze the glute and lift the heel a little bit higher into the air. Bend the knee and stack the hip. Shoulder stays squared. Lift the knee a little bit higher. As we open up those hips, left knee, left elbow, come forward and touch. Inhale, open, extend and stack the leg. Left knee, tiger pose, knee to chin, crunch. Inhale, open, extend and stack. Left knee, right elbow, come across the body and touch. Inhale, open, extend and stack the leg. Tiger pose, step it through, find your balance. Let's go ahead and take that twist. This time the right palm's into the floor, left palm lifts. Keep your neck in a comfortable position. You can look up at that top hand if you like, or you can look down at that bottom hand. It's up to you. What feels good in your body? Big inhale. Start to ground down through that right palm and step that left foot to the back of the mat. Coming into your side plank. Squeeze the core. Lift the hips a little bit higher into the air. Left foot comes back to the top of the mat, hands down for the mat as we ground down through that left big toe. Slide that right foot in. Lift the heel in line with the hip. High up onto the fingertips. Let's take our hands off of the floor and fly into our warrior three. Breathe. Don't hold your breath. Step that right foot to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. Fold deeper. Inhale, rise. Exhale, thumbs into the heart center. Close the pose. Big toes touch, heels apart. Sweep your fingers across the floor and sit back into your chair pose. Squeezing the knees together. See if you can sink back a little bit deeper into the pose. Pulling that belly button in, lowering down just a couple more inches. Swan dive forward and touch the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step the feet back to high plank. Bend the elbows to low plank on the exhale. Inhale forward to upward facing dog. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts into the air behind you. Step that right foot between the thumbs, grab your balance and come up into your crescent lunge. We want squared hips to the top of the mat. Strong back leg, heel over toes. As you sink into that front knee, knee is stacked over the ankle. Pinkies turn in. As we bring the thumbs into the heart center, let's transition over into our warrior two. Now the hips are squared towards the side of the mat. Taking a glance at that back foot, make sure that that back toe is pigeon-toed and that front knee is stacked over the ankle. Long, clean lines of energy from wrist to wrist. Flipping the front palm, leaning yourself forward, open up into your reverse warrior two. Side body stretch, that's what we're looking for. Opening up through that side body. Sliding the left hand down a little bit deeper. Exhale, right elbow stacks on top of the knee. Left arm comes around, up and over. Let's bring that right elbow inside the knee and use the core to keep yourself lifted. Long, clean line of energy from the tip of the finger all the way to the back edge of the foot. Inhale, back to reverse. Open up that side body. Exhale, swan dive the hands down for the floor. Keeping that right leg lifted into the air. Let's take a push up. A second push up as we move through our vinyasa to our upward facing dog. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts into the air behind you. Stepping the left foot all the way between the thumbs, grab your balance. Inhale, rise into your crescent lunge. Again, hips are squared. Neutral pelvis. Shoulders relaxed down the back. Strong back leg. Heel over toes on that back foot. Thumbs into the heart center. Back foot spins. Open up those hips. Open up those arms. Looking out over that front middle finger. See if you can sink in a little bit deeper into the pose. Breathe. Flipping the front palm, leaning yourself forward, opening up into your reverse warrior. Side body stretch. Do you feel the stretch? Sliding a little deeper into the pose. Left elbow inside the knee this time. Right arm comes around, up and over. Nose turns up towards the bicep. Pinky turns down towards the floor. Long, clean line. Keep yourself lifted through the core. Strong core as we inhale, open into reverse warrior two. Exhale, palms for the floor. Left foot steps back. Keep that leg lifted. Power push up first. And then move yourself through your vinyasa. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and touch the floor. Inhale, sweep the fingers across the floor and sit back into your chair pose. Let's step the feet hips distance apart. Sinking the weight back into that deep squat. Inhale, straighten the legs, stand up. And exhale, sink the weight back. Inhale. Exhale, sinking. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, straighten the legs. Air squats. Here, come on, here we go. Squatting down into a seated position this time. Squeezing the knees together, heels together. Boat pose. Strong core. Pull that belly button closer to the spine. If you need a little bit of support, you can always put your hands behind the knees. If you want a little bit more, perhaps you'll straighten the legs. Extend the arms in line with the thighs. Shoulders back, chest out. Breathe, don't hold your breath. Palms to the mat, feet to the mat. Swivel the hips from side to side. Just a little bit of a reprieve as we roll ourselves on the spine back into our squat. Palms come down for the mat, knees to the back of the triceps. Let's start to lean our weight into the palms, looking above the mat. One foot comes off of the floor and then the other. Into our crow pose. Bakasana. Heels come down for the mat. Coming into that squat. Let's sit back down onto the mat. Second set, boat pose. Squeeze the knees. This time lowering yourself slowly all the way to the mat. Heels lift off of the mat. Shoulders move from side to side. As we get into those obliques, everything is lifted. We're balancing on the pelvis from side to side. Breathe, don't hold your breath. You can do it. And then release. Heels come down, shoulders come down to the mat. Bend your knees, hug them into the chest, roll around on your back. Rock and roll on that spine, all the way to a squat. Here we go. Second set. All right, Robert, are you ready to do crow? Let's set ourselves up. You got this. We want to get our hips high into the air and bring the knees to the back of the triceps. Hands down onto the floor as you start to lean yourself forward. Don't look down. Look up towards the top of the mat as you lean yourself forward and get one foot off of the floor and then the other. Big toes touch. You got it. All right, release, back down to the floor. Palms come down from the mat, step the feet back. Let's go through a cleansing vinyasa. As you pull yourself forward to upward facing dog, press back, downward facing dog. Step, hop yourself to the top of the mat, half lift. Squatting yourself down, coming into a yogic squat. Let's go ahead and release all the way down to the floor. Sitting cross-legged, hands over the knees. From a comfortable seated position, let's grab our balls, place them at the top of the mat. Stepping the knees back, coming into tabletop. Grab your balls and start to put some pressure into the wrists. See how that feels. Coming up into your high plank, leaning the weight forward. Working the balls into the mat. Find a comfortable position with a relaxed grip, pushing your fingertips into the mat, palms into the balls. Knees come down to the mat, bend the elbows, low plank. As you release yourself to the mat, finding low cobra, rolling the shoulders back, lifting the chin. Tuck the back toes, push into the balls, push them away from you as you come back to downward facing dog. Coming up to high plank. Knees, chest, chin. Inhaling forward, low cobra. Exhale. Tuck the back toes, push into the balls, and lift up into downward facing dog. Inhale forward, high plank. Bend the elbows. Release to low cobra, roll the shoulders back using the small of the back, and then lift up into upward facing dog. Thighs lift off the mat, exhale, push back, tuck the toes to downward facing dog. Inhale forward into your high plank to low plank. As you move forward to your upward facing dog, exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and touch the floor. Inhale, balls to the chest as you inhale, over the head. Exhale, into the heart center. Inhale, balls over the head. Exhale, swan dive forward, touch the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your balls, step your feet back into the high plank, pushing forward through the toes, bending the elbows, lowering to low plank as you inhale forward to upward facing dog, exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg into the air behind you, and gently step that right foot between the thumbs. Grab your balance. Let's bring our left palm into the mat and raise our right palm with the ball into the air behind you. Gently pressing the weight into the left palm, step the right foot to the back of the mat, side plank. We're gonna do some crunches here into the obliques. So really twist, lower the hips. As you bring the ball through and lift it into the air, inhale up, exhale, lower, inhale. Really get into that side body. Really lift the hips a little bit higher each time as you move through side plank. Let's go ahead and step that right foot between the thumbs. Grab your left ball. Inhale those balls over the head. Crescent lunge. Press, shoulder press. Grounding down into the pose. Shoulder lifts. Balls come over the head, all the way down to the hips. Let's add a little knee bend on that left knee. As you lower and sink that left knee 2 inches above the mat, all the way inhale, back up. Lifting and lowering, work it out. Breathe, don't hold your breath. Exhale. Left knee bends. Balls come over the head. Exhale. Move into the breath. Here we go. Balls to the chest center. Open the hips, warrior two. Let's bring the balls into the heart center first. Finding some nice curls, bicep curls, here in the pose. Lifting and lowering to the breath. Open up. Turn the ball towards the ceiling. As you open up into the side body, into your reverse warrior two, let's bring that left arm out and reach towards the side of the mat. Right ball is over the head, the left ball extended away from the body. Balls into the chest center first. Open up into your warrior two. Right elbow inside the knee, left arm comes around up and over, extending that right ball away from the body, holding yourself with the core, one long clean line from the tip of that left finger all the way to the back edge of the foot. Breathe. Balls to chest center. Open up into your warrior two first. Bringing the balls back to the chest center. Let's transition to crescent lunge. Balls to heart center. Lean the weight into that right big toe. And lift the left leg in line with the hip. Fly for a breath. Here we go. Open up. Chest flies. Here we go. Inhale. Open. Exhale. Bring the balls to center. Slow and controlled. Moving to the breath. Grounding down through that right big toe. See if you can lift the heel a little bit higher. Bringing the balls into the chest center. Slowly bending into that right knee. Step the left foot to the back of the mat. Crescent lunge is our transition pose. Let's bring the balls back down to the floor. Power push up with that right leg lifted as we bend the elbows. Second power push up pushes back into downward facing dog. Here we go on the left side. Left leg lifts. Step the left foot between the thumbs. Go ahead and get rid of that right ball. Pressing the right palm into the floor. Left ball lifts into the air. Slowly starting to press that weight into the right palm. Step the left foot to the back of the mat. Side plank. Here we go with our side crunches. Inhale, dip the hips, curl that ball all the way down. Move into the breath, here we go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Let's step that left foot between the thumbs. Can you get it in one step? Grab your balance, both balls. Inhale, rise into your crescent lunge. Here we go with our knee dip. This time the right knee is bending 2 inches above the mat as you bring the balls all the way down. Squeeze and lift. Strong back leg. Balls are over the head. On the inhale. Work it out. Balls into the chest center. Back foot spins, transitioning to our warrior two. Hips open up towards the side of the mat. Here we go. Tricep curls. Here we go. Elbows over the head. Balls come back behind you into the shoulder blades as you bend the elbows. Keep them lifted over the head. Breathe. Sink in a little bit deeper into that front leg. Balls into the chest center, transitioning back to warrior two. Spin that front ball up and lift it into the air for that reverse warrior two. Sliding that right ball down the leg. Let's go ahead and reach that right ball towards the side of your mat. Keeping ourselves lifted through the side body, reaching with that left arm. Breathe. Transitioning back to warrior two first. Left elbow inside the knee, right arm reaches around, up and over. Press that ball away from you, away from the ground. And see if you can't hold yourself with the core as you reach with the left arm away from the body. Back to heart center first. Open up, warrior two. And let's transition to crescent lunge. Balls into the heart center first. Back foot spins up, balls over the head. Here we go. Balls into the heart center. As you start to lean your weight into that left big toe, lifting that right leg into the air behind you in line with the hip. Chest flies. Let's prepare ourselves. Here we go. All the way down, all the way up. Move into the breath. Beautiful job. Keeping that balance. Let's move the balls into the heart center. Transition through crescent lunge. Exhale. Balls come down for the floor. Step the feet back. Power push-ups. Here we go with that left leg lifted. Boom. Let's do it. All the way up. Squeeze those balls. And press back into your downward facing dog. Stepping to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. Forward fold. Inhale, balls up over the head. And exhale into the heart center. And close the pose. Let's catch our breath for a second. Placing one of the balls between your thighs. Squeeze it right above the knee. Let's start to sit back into our chair pose. Squeezing the thighs, squeezing that ball as you lift the heels off of the floor, pressing the other ball away with the hands. Squeeze. A lot of things going on right now in this pose. Don't forget to breathe as you inhale, straightening up. Exhale, fold. Both balls touch the mat. As you inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. Sit back into your squat. Seated position, legs extended out in front of you. We're working hard. Boat pose, balls are in the heart center. Let's start to extend them out and away from us, opening up into a cross, and then crunch them in front of you. This time the right ball goes back to center, left ball, out to the side, back to center, right ball, squeeze, lift those heels high. Lots of going on in this pose. Keep breathing. As we move from side to side. And extend those balls away from the heart center. Breathe. You got this. Keep on going. All right. Whew. Let's take a break. Come down onto our backs. Set the balls down. Grab your knees. Hug them into the chest. Roll around on your spine. Take a break from all that core work. Grab your balls into the heart center, rock and roll on the spine, all the way into that squat. Here we go. Setting yourself up. For your crow pose, let's go ahead and place one of the balls between the feet. Squeeze the ball with your feet. Palms come down for the mat, knees come to the back of the tricep, and see if we can't squeeze and lift that ball into the air, into our Bakasana crow pose. Whew. That's a little difficult, so give yourself some patience. Treat yourself with a little kindness. And we'll sit down and take a break from that. Coming down onto the back. Make sure you're in the center of the mat. Here we go with that modified low boat that we did earlier. Heels come off the mat, shoulders are off the mat. Let's get into those twists. Balls come off to the right, balls come off to the left. Working from side to side. Finding that nice steady rhythm for you as you work. Into those obliques, into that side body, squeeze the core and release. Don't let yourself melt into the mat yet. Hug those knees into the chest. Roll around on your back. We're almost there, not quite. Roll around on your spine. We don't want our energy settling into the floor too much. Grab your balls and rock and roll back into a squat. Here we go. Yogic squat. Feet are flat on the floor. Open them up wide. Elbows inside the knees. And let's prepare. Balls palms over the head. Stand all the way up. Air squats. Here we go. All the way, sit back. Knees over ankles. Hips in line with the knees. Sitting the way back. Arms are over the head. Keep those balls lifted. Extending the balls all the way out in front of you. One long clean line from the hip to the fingertip. Then all the way back up. Squatting back. Extending the balls in front of you. Inhale. All the way back up to standing. Exhale. Squat back. Inhale, rise. Here we go. Work it out. You've got this. Maybe a little jump. Press out of the floor and reach. Explosion of power. Your most powerful self. All right, let's squat down. Sitting back down onto the floor. Extending the legs in front of you. Catch your breath. Remember those long, slow, steady rhythm. Coming to a comfortable seated position. Let's come into a seated twist. Left heel comes over to the right hip. Crossing the right leg up and over the knee. Reach that left arm into the air. Left elbow outside the right knee. Right hand reaches back. Long line of energy from the floor all the way through the crown of the head. Let's walk the right palm a little closer to the hip so that you can lift through the chest and exhale, twist deeper into the pose. Counter twist, arms come over to the left side. Press them into the floor and really press into that counter twist. Let's find some space into the spine. Swiveling the hips up, looking at the back of the mat, hands come to the back of the mat. Left leg lifts into the air, stack the hips. Half pigeon, left knee, behind that left wrist, square the hips. Decide if this is enough for you or if you'd like to go deeper. Robert's showing us the shoulder twist variation of half pigeon. But this is all about the hips. Remember, there's no pain in yoga, but there is sensation. So notice any sensations that are coming up for you as we work our half pigeon and let ourselves melt into the floor. Allowing gravity to do the work. Can you surrender to the breath? On your next big inhale, let's start to walk ourselves up onto the palms, tucking the back toes, extending that left leg into the air behind you. Big hip circle, big hip circle. Reverse back. Right leg lifts, bend the knee and stack the hip. Let's do our half pigeon on the other side. Right knee becomes behind the right wrist. Slide that left knee back, make sure that leg's in a straight line. If you'd like to add the twist, thread that left arm through. Or just walk the hands away and rest the head on something. A block, the floor, your palms. No tension. Sweet surrender. Relax. And let yourself melt into the floor. Gravity's doing the work. Your only responsibility is to the breath. Big inhale. Walk the palms in. Tuck those left toes. Right leg extends behind you. Big hip circle. Big hip circle. Reverse back. Let's come to our seated twist. This time the right heel is coming over to the left hip. And the left leg crosses over. Left palm reaches back behind you. Push through the left palm, lift the chest, and squeeze into the twist a little bit deeper into the pose. Breathe. Counter twist. Palms come over to the opposite side. Looking to the top of the mat, walk your palms to the top of the mat, swivel the hips up, step hop, jump your way to the top of the mat, roll down, sit down. Extending the legs out in front of you, arms come over the head, hands to the toes, or to the floor, wherever you can reach. Let's come into our forward fold. Remember, no curved spines, flat back, shoulders back, chest out. Draw your belly in and lean deeper into the pose. There's this beautiful stretch sensation up the back of the legs. We want to make sure that we feel that. Feel the hamstrings opening. So let's make whatever adjustments that you need. As you inhale, back to center, extend the arms towards the feet as you slowly lower yourself onto the mat. Hug the knees into the chest. Reaching for the outside edges of the feet or the big toes, whatever's available to you. Happy baby pose, roll around on your back. Extending one leg and then the other. Finding one last hamstring stretch before we end today. Then open yourself up as wide as you go. Big toes drop down towards the floor. Heels come down for the floor. Palms come down for the floor. Extend both legs. Close the eyes. Palms turn up. Float away and be at peace. Final Shavasana. beginning to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bringing life back to the body, deepening the breath. Hug your knees into your chest and give yourself a squeeze. Full body extension, arms come over the head, point your toes, roll your wrists and your ankles. One more time, hug your knees into your chest. Right arm comes over the head as you roll yourself off to the side. Make a little pillow with your bicep. Say something kind to yourself. Be proud of the work that you put in to living your best life as you make your way up to a comfortable seated position. Arms come over the head. Thumbs into the heart center. Bow slightly. Namaste.